Hi everyone. So before we really get started with any sort of content, I would like to explain to you how we will be using our notebooks this year. So there are no physical notebooks. Everything is going to be online. So for each unit, you are going to have a vocabulary notebook, and it is going to look something like this. So biology vocabulary notebook, and then the topic will be in this box right here. So we're going to be starting with an introduction to human body systems and then looking more in depth at the nervous system. So that's what this is right here. And there is a space for you to fill in your name and your period on this cover right here. Now on this next slide, this is, if it lets me, this is your table of contents. So this is the list of all the vocabulary words you are responsible for this particular unit. They are in alphabetical order, so it's not necessarily following the order that we learn the words in. And you will also notice that they are hyperlinked. So the point of this is once you fill in the rest of the notebook and you're looking back on this in order to review for a test or maybe just to look something up on your own, you can end up in the presentation mode, clicking on any of these words, and it will take you directly to that slide, just like what you saw here. Once you're done with that slide, I have a little home button down here, kind of like on the old style iPhones. And if you click it, it will take you back to the table of contents. So one more time, if I want to look up what a positive feedback loop is, I click on the word, it brings me to the slide. And then if I want to get back to the table of contents, I click this home button right here. So that's just an easy way to navigate this after you finish filling it out. So it really will turn into a notebook or a very usable textbook for you to refer back to. Now, as you are going through whatever presentation you are watching for this specific notebook, I'm going to click on this first slide here. This is for the circulatory system. And so for each vocabulary word, you will be responsible for providing a quick definition of that word. Now, it is very important that for this definition, you are using words that you understand. Do not look up the definitions on Wikipedia, on Google. Do not put in big words that you do not understand. This is for your personal reference. So you need to make sure that whatever definition you write here, you understand what that definition means. So I am asking, if possible, to define the word in 10 words or less. So really a short definition. If you can't think of a definition for your word, you can use the definition that I give you. And I say that just because I will be explaining things to you in words that you can understand. So really right here, this is a check-in for you. You need to understand the words here. For the next part here, for each word, I'm going to ask you to include some sort of image or diagram. And so you can easily do that by coming over to Insert. You're going to go over to Image. Maybe you want to search the web. And specifically, I'm going to look up the circulatory system. Here it is. And I'm not a huge fan of any of these pictures, to be honest. But oh, here's a good one. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to select this image right here, and I'm going to insert it onto my slide. And here is my image for the circulatory system. And again, this should be an image that when you look at it, it reminds you about what the circulatory system is, how it works. Maybe it sparks your memory for what this vocabulary word is about. But make sure that this is a space you are utilizing, again, to help you refresh yourself about whatever the vocab word is. The last part down here is I'm going to be asking you to come back to the science root words that we did at the beginning of the year and either break down your word into those root words. So excuse me, this is not a good example of that, but your other option is to use it in an example. So maybe once you learn what the circulatory system is, you can say, my heart beats to circulate my blood through the body to deliver oxygen to my cells, and that is how the circulatory system works. So that would be an example of you using that word in a sentence to show that you understand what it means. So let me get rid of this image. And then in terms of root words, let's come down to, where's homeostasis? Should have been higher up. Here it is. So for example, homeostasis, for this last part down here, you definitely can break that into its root words. So you can look it up, break it down into homeo, and then what stasis means. Stasis means static. So homeostasis generally means we're holding whatever it is at a certain level. So that's what you would do down here. So as you go through whatever presentation you are watching, again, this is just an example of one, you will be getting this vocabulary notebook, and it will be your job as you go through the presentation to come in, fill out your vocab word, and then continue with the presentation.